my little student. Today we are going to study the map of Europe. As you can see, it's very colored. Sehr schön, sehr schön, sehr schön. And we are going to start with the most important country. Can you guess what that is? Was ist das? Ja. German Reich, Germany, Republic. Ja, Germany. And this is here we have right here, you can see, but before we call general government. Yes, general government. Do you know what this one is? The pink one. Look very carefully. Look. This is the Reichskommissariat Ostland. Is it? Or is it here? I'm not sure. But it's definitely this before. No. It's definitely, under German occupation. Now it's free country. Estonia, Lettonia, Lithuania, Poland. We have so many beautiful countries. But before, obviously, Poland was under Nazi Germany, and the rest was, just some, countries under the German rule. So we also had this beautiful pink one. Do you see? Yes, this one was also, Reichskommissariat Norwegian. It's like we call Norway today, but before it's under German rule. Yes. This one, the green one, Sweden. Not very important. Sweden was always very free, very free. It's a monarchy, they have king and queen, I think, there. But let's continue. We had Finland, not under German rule, but at the time in my youth, we called them allies, co-belligerent was the term. We call them puppet state, if you want me to be absolutely honest with you. So this is Finland right here, Finland. And then we have all of these countries, obviously, they were allies as well, Now we see this one is Romania, and we have Hungary, and we have Serbia, can you see Serbia? And we have Montenegro, Croatia, Slovenia, all these nice countries. And you know what? Slovakia was an ally of Germany, as well as Hungary here, the pink one, can you see? It was an ally of Germany. We had this, I think it's Serbia, the blue one. This one was under military administration, little bit different, it's under German occupation. It's not very sovereign in its state, if it makes sense. We had also Italy, of course, big ally, big friend of us, and the Vatican City. You probably know about Vatican, especially. Now we are electing new popes. And then we have these ones, when it's hot and you don't know where you want to go and you want to go on vacation. You can go to Spain here, and the one here, what is this? Yes, it's Portugal. Spain and Portugal were neutral, actually, much like the part of where else Ireland. Right, Ireland, they had so many problems already. They were neutral. And obviously, can you guess what was the last country that was neutral in this Grand War that we unfortunately lost? Yes, of course. Switzerland, right here, Switzerland, bordering France and bordering Italy, bordering Austria, bordering Germany. You know, Swiss are very funny. They have a military service, compulsory military service of 1 year or 2 years. I think they have about like 7 rulers or something like that. It's very Lord of the Ringish. And there they have a part that speak French, a part that speak German, a part that speak Italian. It's so weird, you know. Swiss German is so bizarre. But yes, they were neutral, of course, during the war, just like Spain and Portugal and Ireland. Now, we had some annexed territory. Oh, we didn't speak about Frankreich, France, very important country, very important. Our dear neighbor, well, as you know, before I talk about France, let's talk about Germany. Not Germany, sorry, Belgium. Belgium was under military administration, obviously, and it was near this is right now you call is it Deutschland? No, Deutschland is Germany. I forget the name in English, but anyway, it doesn't matter because this was also under German occupation. We only have Denmark right here, the little peak, the little red peak here. As you see, Denmark, which was free, you know, it was nominally unoccupied, and so. As for Frankreich, let's go back to France because it's something that's very interesting to us. France was partly under military administration, so occupied by the Nazi Germans, and partly, you know, Vichy was right there, Vichy, you know, helping us basically, and half of it, the south mainly was free zone, you know. This is where Monaco is, for example, you know, this is where Andorra is, yeah. So France was a little bit of a situation where we had the Nazi at the north, and then the free French people in the south. Is very, you know, it is quite complicated. Then if we go towards the Soviet Union, now you call Russia, but at the time Soviet Union, yeah, Soviet Union, it was basically a part of the Soviet Union that you see just right here, bordering, you know, basically the part bordering Ukraine and Belarus. All of that was retaken during the Soviet 1941-1942 winter offensive, and we have obviously lots of countries here. So Ukraine, like I said, is Reich Commissariat, so it is Allies held areas, basically, just like Belarusia and countries like that I talked before, Lithuania, Lithuania. It's complicated. What else do we have? We have Greece. I don't think I mentioned Greece. Can you tell where Greece is on the map? Look. Where is Greece? Right there. So Greece was under, you know, Italian military administration. So I would say that everything that's like over there, it can look complicated, but either they're puppet states like allies to Germany, or they were allied held areas, which mean they were controlled by Russia or Italy, you know. I think this is pretty clear. I didn't mention Turkey. I mean, Turkey was completely neutral. Can you remind me of the other 2 countries, 3, 4, 5 countries that were neutral? The one in the north, yes, Sweden, Ireland. South, we have Portugal and Spain, and of course, Switzerland's very easy to remember. Huh? And so the most important country is this blue one, which is the German Reich. But now everything changed, you know, it's new. Oh, we had Iceland, obviously. I forgot about Iceland, but it was British occupied. See, you have the United Kingdom here. It was always there. And the United Kingdom, I believe, was also, you can't see on this map, but if we go a little bit lower than Turkey, we have Syria, which was occupied by Britain. By France, actually. Sorry, it was occupied by France, but was freed from July 41. And it was Transjordan, which was occupied by Britain until, I don't know, a long time. And Iraq obviously was occupied as well. It's complicated. It was another time. People were just occupying countries and marching over countries and committing genocide. Hopefully by 2025 people are not doing that anymore, and we are not doing this stupid Game of Thrones, But that was the situation at the time, and I hope that you really like this lesson of geography. It was basically Europe at the height of German expansion from 41 to 42, and I try to give you the how can I say? I try to give you the perspective by, thank you. Dankeschön for coming. I see you later. And auf Wiedersehen, bis bald, meine Students.